his only game, and he's downloadable content. So he only came out, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
It wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't that long ago. Unless you've played against one consistently, you're kind of lost.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, the idea that Caden had. He was like, hey, I want to play this character. I want to get really good at him. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds good, but why? And he's like, nobody knows. And I'm like, how are they going to know?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an advantage that you can have over your opponents, and that's something that Talo Halo uses playing Mii Sword Fighter, because there are very, very little Mii Sword Fighter players in playing a character that not a lot of people play, so most people don't have the what's known as the matchup experience and knowing how to fight this. And it looks like the opponent is going Incineroar. So both of these characters are going to be really strong heavy hitters, relatively slow, not crazy slow, but kind of both mid-tempo style. And we are going to hop into this game one here. And here we can see this Incineroar play. Incineroar is kind of an in-your-face brawler. He very much plays trying to get grabs, trying to... he's based off of wrestling and, wrestling style of fighting. So it's very in your face, and wow, Caden getting 124% on this Incineroar.
I'm speechless, man. He's playing really smart. And of course, he starts getting hit when I talk, but Caden doing 124 unanswered until that just moment there. He's very confident, I believe, in the Incineroar matchup, and yeah, I think he's got this ready to roll.
Yeah, doing a really good job at standing his ground, keeping control of the stage as best as he can. Oh, and not getting any damage on that giant fireball. I don't remember what that move is called specifically.
Giga Flare.
Giga Flare, that's what it's called.
Flare, Super... I think it's Flare, Mega Flare, and Giga Flare.
Right.
3 different levels of that. But right now, you got to watch out. So Sephiroth, although he's, amazing, he can hit really hard, he's one of the lightest characters in the game. So right now, he's at a kill percent, a thing that's just not a good place to be. So he's got to be careful. Don't get grabbed. Don't get hit by any of Incineroar's hard moves, because Incineroar hits really hard. Incineroar also in kill percent. Caden trying to look for a grab back there. It's a little too high for that to happen, so he's just going to make do with what he can.
And right there, we're seeing both of them going back and forth and trying to get control of the platform, and the Incineroar is actually going to take that first stock on Caden, on the Duke here, and it looks like we are getting a bit of lag, which is unfortunate, but they seem to be playing around it as best they can. And and it looks like we're getting some serious lag here, hoping it gets sorted out and ends up smoothing out at least a little bit, because playing in this kind of stuttering and back and forth can be very difficult. It looks like it's smoothing out a little bit, but that is really unfortunate. Yeah, playing with that lag can make things really difficult.
There's a lyric to this, and the band played on.
Yes.
It's kind of one of the things you have to deal with. Unfortunately, this may not look like one of those situations where you can play on. We're going to find out here in a moment.
Now we'll see if we can get this sorted out, but until then, they are going to keep playing and doing their best to try and take these stocks on the opponent. And the Duke, seeing if he can take control of this. The Incineroar is at 235%. That is incredibly high. That means most moves that kill either earlier on or would kill at lower percents are now going to kill much easier. And moves that normally don't kill at lower percents are now going to take stocks and knock you back much farther. But he got the stock there, and it seemed like the Incineroar was having trouble recovering. And wow,
it's rough.
Yeah, this latency.
It's a rough situation.
Yes, latency, lag, these are all different words for delay, and it usually involves network, the internet, and trying to create a smooth connection as possible. And right now, this latency, this lag is becoming quite the adversary. But I mean, so far they were both doing really good in the earlier first stock of the game. But it seems like they're gonna maybe try and work something out. They might end up quitting and hopping back into a new lobby. They might try and play on, but yeah, and then the So when you hop into a Super Smash Brothers game, you go into what's known as the lobby, and this is where you all meet together before the game to make sure you're all connected. And so it looks like that lobby, that server, has gone down because the connection is so rough. And so we are hoping, and it looks like the other team had disconnected from our lobby that we had created. So we are going to see if maybe...
This is where you guys get coach's insight.
Okay.
So, they just joined right back.
Okay.
Being the coach, I get to do 17 things at once. It's great. I love my job.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we reset, have all of our internet connection, on a fresh run, and we'll try it again. This should be the case of what's happening, unless SAU is arguing otherwise that they can just play on it. I wouldn't want to play on it. I'd like something nicer, truly. So we're going to probably get a reset on this. I'm double-checking here.
Okay.
But that's just a little bit of small insight for you.
One-on-one looker insight to the life of a coach. And you see the Duke, always ready to play. But while we're sitting here waiting for this next match to come up, I have a question for you, Coach Wilkie. You kind of having dabbled in the different leagues, I guess, of competitive play, of pro play, of collegiate play. How is professionals joining collegiate play kind of shaking up the Smash Bros. Scene as a whole? Because we have some examples. Like, we have one really strong player in the collegiate scene. He's known as Sonics, and he plays for the Bay State Bandits.
Yep.
He's very, very strong. He gets top 8 in these really big majors all the time, and then you have countless others that are going to tournaments and doing really, really well. What's your take on that? How do you think that's affecting the collegiate sport?
So, it's weird. You would think that collegiate esports, right, in the traditional sense of normal sports, sometimes you can get drafted out of high school to go to a team. That's cool. Most of the time you go to college to develop better and get better, footage, time, and experience. Esports is almost backwards. Most of the prime players are about 14 to 16 years old. So by the time that they're 18, they're playing for a team. They play for a few years, and then they, hey, we made money, but how do we continue to, go on with our life? So a lot of them will go to college and continue to play. That idea to me is ingenious. I think it's great. Not only for, the individual person of, hey, like, let's say Sonics, okay? He's still playing at a high competitive level for professional, but now he's playing at a high competitive collegiate level. He has the chance now to bring that experience to a team. So as a coach, you see that, and you have, this top athlete coming in and being on your team, and you're like, okay, well, hold on a second. You can teach me a lot. Not only that, because I think a coach should be humble in all aspects of being like, hey, how do we learn to get better? That's what you're doing. You're trying to teach people how to be better, so how can you be better to make them better? Pro player like Sonics comes in, hey, what do you know? Okay, let's figure that out. How do we expand that to the team, and how do we get everyone as good as you? And how can we start moving that in? So I think it's a great aspect of collegiate esports that it's happening. It's terrifying to play against. Absolutely.
I can imagine.
It's so rough.
Yeah.
It's not, some people might think that it's not fun, but I think for the overall skill gap to not the skill gap, but the skill ceiling to increase, it needs to be brought in. Because collegiate esports it's unregulated in the sense that there's no years of eligibility. Are you a full-time student? Yes. Are you completing your classes with a 2.0 or higher? Yes. Okay, chances are you're going to be able to play for your school if you're good enough. So if you have those people that are good enough, why not give them the chance to get an education? Why not give them the chance to develop themselves, not just as an athlete, but as an adult? Because you're not dealing, most of the time, the general consensus, you're dealing with anyone between the ages of 18 to 24, maybe 26. That's your average college student time frame for undergrad and maybe early starting masters. They are still developing people. Most people come out of high school and they may classify as an adult, but chances are there's a lot of experience in their life they don't have. And so, some go to college to get a degree because they want to get a good job. Some go to do other things. I think a lot of the times it's about, hey, are we going to college to develop ourselves better rather than get a diploma just to get a good job, rather than get a piece of paper to get a good job? But how are we further enhancing ourselves and the lives around us. So that's what we're looking at with those things. I think bringing in pro players from the scene can give the aspect of, hey, this is the competitive scene, and I also think they can get poured into by their coaches, the other athletes, and other players who are like, hey, you have been here in your world. That's great. We've been here in our world, and this is also great. How can we merge these and learn to grow together? And that's the beauty of, I believe, what pro and collegiate esports has when mixing together. It's not just, hey, only big kids can play. It's like, actually, the little kids are playing, the big kids are out here doing their college.
Yeah.
And when they meet, it's like, dude, we can learn so much from each other on every level.
Yeah, I agree. I think that expanding the community, sharing the knowledge, and then I think I do agree with you, and it is kind of backwards, but in a good way, where, you know, you have these 14, 15-year-old kids, they're going to these tournaments, winning tournaments, they're excelling, and they become professionals, getting on like a sponsored esports roster, and then they become 18. And so after they've already been a professional, now they have to worry about college.
Yep.
And I think that, you know, as you said, bringing those two communities together, creating that shared knowledge, that shared, teamwork, I guess, I think that could just be beneficial for everybody.
Yep.
And I think that's really, really cool. And so hopefully we will get this game underway quickly. It seems like that they were trying to set up a new lobby with a new server and get a new connection going between the two schools. In the hopes that maybe this new lobby, this new connection will be smoother, will be faster, there will be less latency or lag or delay, and so that they can play some Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. But I'm very excited for this because here, with the Duke playing and him being in Sephiroth, there's lots of different mechanics that go into practicing, preparing for the game. You, as a coach for this esports team, what are some key fundamentals that every Smash Bros. Players needs to know and practice? Things that they should be aware of, whether it be a technical thing, whether it be just a gameplay thing, whether it be just a state of mind, whatever it is.
I think state of mind is your most important friend when playing Smash Brothers. You can play, and you can go into the lab, you can go into practice and practice all of your combos, all your movement, all of your setups. You can research as much as you want. You can get stats on every character. The Duke actually knows a lot of frame data, and it's kind of scary because he sat down one night and he's like, I'm going to learn it, and he learned it. And I was like, oh my goodness, you back away from me for a second.
Yeah.
But, and I was going to bring this up too with the pro level players coming to college. Your mentality when you're playing, you have to have a mentality of, I'm competing, check. I want to win, check. I will do what it takes to win, within, of course, good limits.
Yeah.
So if you have those three, you are competing, you want to win, and you have what it takes to win, and you're reinforcing yourself with that here. Everything here can be natural, and that's the beauty of it. It can be a natural thing. You can understand and be within yourself and not go too fast or not be too slow or not panic or get too excited, but to be calm and composed when you play, and to understand that you know your game. And that is the game you need to know. Yeah. Not always, I know my opponent, I know the video game, it's I know how I play. Okay. I am confident and sure in how I play because I have put in work to be that way for how I play. So when I go play, I shouldn't doubt myself in any way, and I shouldn't doubt anything that I'm doing. Even if it doesn't work, it's okay. Pick it up, move on to the next one. Yeah. You have to be able to dust yourself off and get back up and play. So that's the main thing. Because, another communication error. That's big sad.
Unfortunate.
But, like with Caden, right? Where has he been to play? He's been casting every time. So, coming into a match, it's not just for him, hey, I get to play. Now he's like, well, this is my first match of the semester. Okay, so you have nerves that you have to write off. Then you also have to say, all these connection things are not working. Now I'm not warmed up. Okay, well, you got to write that off too. You got to understand that this is how it's going to be. You got to start rolling with punches in this and not be self-deprecating. So now he's like, okay, well, this is my first match, but now there's a bunch of lag. I'm unsure. We already saw this Incineroar played, and he saw how I played. Now maybe Sephiroth wasn't the right option. Who knows what this guy's going to know now, and they could be researching stuff on it. You have to sit down, keep your mind quiet, understand and filter your thoughts before the Lord. and then play.
Mm.
That's how it works. That's the easiest way to coach anything. Is your mentality needs to be there before you start going, and it's your foundation. It's your foundation. You don't want to build all the skill that you have just for yourself to rage quit or get mad or think that you can't do it, because then all the work that you've put in has been for nothing.
Yeah.
You'd rather go in and win or go in and lose knowing that you were confident in what you have been doing and that you want to get better, rather than just be like, I'm unsure and my hands were nervous and I was sweaty. You don't want to make excuses for yourself.
Well, duty calls. We just got word that
Yes.
Coach Wilkie is needed in the arena. So he is going to go and take care of matters elsewhere. And so he is going to discuss with them, whether it be here or somewhere else. But
I will be back.
all right. But for all of you who are at home, thank you so much for tuning into the SAGU Sports Network. We appreciate you for checking us out, and please connect with us. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we are on Facebook, Instagram, all of the things. We're even on TikTok, and as well for the SAGU Esports. Shout out to them for being here, for playing the games, for engaging in this esports arena. Thank you so much to you guys who are willing to put in the work and compete. And so go follow them on socials, and same things: YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. They would really love to connect with you and have that one-on-one interaction. But we are actually going to go to a short break. We will be back in just a minute, and we appreciate you all for being here. And this has been the SAGU Sports Network.